My channel. Today's topic is the only other block that works. Well, I always give a shout out to my coach. I would not have understood this chart to a level if not that he guided me very well. Well, I stole this diagram. I'm not the owner of this diagram, so I like to make a note here that I'm not the owner of this diagram. I took this diagram from my coach actually to actually teach people on how to get the right order block and how to locate the order block. So now we have three scene. We have scene 1, we have scene 2, and we have scene 3. You can see it in the diagram. Now, how do we get a valid order block? If you look at this order block here, we are seeing two candle. If you can see it in this direction here. Now, normally you would have picked this bullish candle because why? It is a downtrend. But the three-hole diagram is a downtrend. You would have picked this candle here, this one here. Make an arrow here. Okay. Okay, if this will work. You would have picked this candle, this particular one, this candle here as your order block, this blue candle as your order block. But now I want to show you something that makes that candle entirely different, why it will not stand as the order block. Now what will stand as the order block is what we call the swing point, the one that has the highest point, indirectly signifying to us that this candle here, this bearish candle here we are seeing here, is our order block. This bearish candle you are seeing here is your order block. Are you with me? This bearish candle you are seeing here is your order block. Are you with me? Now, what also makes it a valid order block? It comes with a fair value gap. You can see the fair value gap here, and you can also see the fair value gap. This is a fair value gap. So the first thing you look for now is our fair value gap, which makes it a valid order block. And the second one you see here is what? It comes out with a wick on top. The highest point of that zone is what we'll take as our valid order block. Now, if you see this candle, they call it sell, buy, sell. Some scenarios you will see it as buy, sell, buy. They call that scenario, sometimes you will hear people say SND. SND. Some people take it as an order block as an SND candle. Sell, impulse of sell, then one buy candle, impulse of sell. You will see it as buy, one sell candle, impulse of buy. Are you with me? Now, for the second diagram, what do we take as our order block? We look for what? The swing point. You see this longest candle here that came out here? This candle will be categorized as an order block. But this whole area is not even a strong area. Why? Because there is no form of order here. Order has been taken. Can we see any fair value gap around here? No. See it yourself. Let me try and see if I can put a circle in that area. Can you see it? Can you see it? Do you see any valid fair value gap? No. There is no any valid fair value gap in that area. Meaning this trade, if this kind of scenario, it's already a weak order block, but it's still an order block, but it's a weak order block. This is what scene 2. For the scene 3, what do we see? The longest candle here is what? This bullish candle. We have what? Our point 1, a valid order block. What do we see as our second point? Our second point is showing us a fair value gap, meaning this zone is a valid order block. So if market is coming back as a retracement, you can consider this area as a valid order block. Now, these are the powerful scenarios on how to know an order block that can work and that will be strong for your analysis, and an order block that will be weak. If you go around inside the chart here and look for examples, you will see scenarios whereby we mark order block. Now, if you look at this environment here, what do we see here? We see what? We see what? A break of structure. So a change of character here, right? And what do we see here? We see what? We see a fair value gap. We see what? We see a fair value gap. Okay, let me draw it very well. we see a fair value gap. But what do we take as our order block? See this wick that came out here as the highest point of the swing points, that is what our order block. You have seen markets came there to react, but on a normal day you would have felt that, oh, it is the fair value gap that market is reacting in, but indirectly market is reacting in what? In the order block. You see I'm marking it well so you can see it very clearly. It's always the highest one with the highest weak points that we take as our valid order block. Now you see here what happened here. There was a shift in market structure. Am I correct? The last point that has the longest wick here is our order block. Do you see it? It's our order block, but I won't take this as a strong order block. Why? There is no fair value gap. These are how to know a strong valid order block. We look for the one that has the longest wick. This is the point here, and mark as our order block. Let me go around and keep finding for you. Now see this zone here, we have what? We have a break of structure. What do we see as the longest wick here that came down here as an order block? Confluence number 2. What again do we see here? This one, see, came out at the bump. Do you see it? Sorry, it came out below as a swing point. Do you see it? And what do we have here? We have what? We have a fair value gap. Do you see? Making that red candle as a valid order block. Let me go around again and keep finding for you. This is a swing point also, the one with the longest candle down there. Let's keep finding other blocks that are valid. Now you can see what happened here. There was a change of character here, and what happened? This is our order block. You can see this candle here. This is what the swing points. The wick came out down there, and you see a valid order block. And what do we have here? We have what? We have a fair value gap. These are all the whole confluences that makes an order block a valid order block. So when you do not see a fair value gap in that area, there are no orders in that area, that zone is kind of weak. We look for the one that comes up with the pointed wick. You can see this zone here. What came out here? The swing point here. Can you see it's the longest wick? Can you see? Even though it's normally you would have marked this whole candle, right? But what are we seeing under here? The longest wick, signifying to us that what happened? This is our what? Our order block. Not marking it well. This is our order block. It almost got to the zone, the tip, and what happened? It bounced up back. Okay, let me keep looking around to show you a valid order block. Also happened here, but the zone did not hold. But this is also a valid order block. But what? It has been taken. This order has been taken out by this zone. There is no fair value gap here, so the order would not hold. Let me keep finding order block for you. What do you see here? We have what? We have a break of structure. And what do you see again? There was no order here. Order has been taken out, but we have what? We have this red candle here as an order block. But it would have been a scary zone for anyone to take trade in. Let me look for other blocks that are valid for you. Okay, now we have what? We have a shift of market structure here. And what do we have here? The candle that came out with the pointed wick here. But what is there any fair value gap? Yes, there is a tiny one, very small fair value gap inside, making it a valid order block. So I hope this video was very helpful for you. I showed you how to know a strong order block and how to know an order block that is weak, and this will help you also to differentiate where to risk more, and I don't know, depending on how you want to risk on your analysis. So I hope this video was useful for you. Do not forget to subscribe on my channel. Ask your question on the comment section, comment and like, so that the YouTube algorithm can pick up this video to help those who actually need it. And thank you so much again for watching, and bye.